What's up everybody, Derek here, and today we are going to go over my top 5 lures that I like to use whenever I'm going after bluegill. I'm going to make these top 5 lures very simple. They're artificials and you can basically get them at most places or something really closely that resembles these. And my number one, this one right here. That is the Nico Caddy Fly. This is on a little 1/32 ounce jig head. 3 of these lures are going to be on a jig head of this size. This is about the perfect size for going after panfish or bluegill. But you get you a little grub. This is a caddy fly. You can get your waxworm. You can get all kinds of little things that will be around this size and use those on the creek. And all you basically do is throw it out with light line, 6 to 8 pound test, because it's going to be hard to cast these little lures because they are so small. So you're going to need some smaller line. But these things are basically, I call this, doing this technique with this size of a jig is a do-nothing technique. It's a do-nothing rig, basically. You throw it out, let it fall, keep the slack out of your line so you're keeping that line tight, and it will just, you'll watch it, and it'll disappear, or it'll load up with a fish. And man, they just can't resist it. I don't know if it looks like a minnow or what exactly it is, but they will just put it in their mouth and hold on to it. And my second one, if you were to take the same jig head and to put it on here, is a crappie magnet or a trout magnet. Now these have a little slit in their tail so they can have a little bit of more vibration or a little bit more flare, I guess you could say. So they see how it does that right there? It does that under the water, so it has a little bit more movement. And that can entice the fish sometimes a little bit more than you would say with this first one, this caddy fly. But these things are known panfish baits. They will straight up catch you some fish. So we got 2 of them covered. The number 3 is a pretty simple one. You can find these in most panfish kits. I know Walmart carries them in their panfish kits, trout kits, all that stuff. But are these little beauties right here, these little bitty crawfish. You can rig these exact same way. They're a little bit bigger profile. You'll catch some bass on these too, but something about these with the, kind of like with that trout magnet or that panfish magnet, see how the kind of, it's got one broken claw in there, but it moves a little bit more. So that movement and the different colors, the size profile, and what they're eating different times of the year, this is a great lure to be catching fish. Now those are our slow moving baits. Now you can take each one of these little beauties and put them under a bobber, and you can basically kind of pop them along. So you can let them sit in one spot for a longer amount of time, and those fish will just come up and pop that bobber down. But you can also throw them without a bobber and just keep it on straight line, and you'll catch a ton of them. All right, our number 4, pretty simple. This is a tried and true little lure right here. This is the Rooster tail. This is a 1/8 ounce. Not really a whole lot to these, except for just tossing it out. It's got a wire on there and it's got the spinner, and it's just basically gonna flutter. You got a treble hook on the back, as you can see right there, so you're not gonna miss very many fish. And these things, you can throw them. You want to fish it from the upstream and throw it downstream and pull it back up to you because of the spinning action. Because if not, you're going to have to reel it so fast when you're reeling back downstream. So to have less reeling speed, basically, because the slower the better, you want to fish these in the little eddies or the little pockets that are right off the current. And you will catch a ton of panfish on these. And bass, but mainly for panfish, these things, those fish react, and it's crazy how aggressive panfish can be. But this one right here is another moving bait, but it's also kind of a slow moving bait. This is actually a crankbait, as you see that bill right there. You can get these at Walmart. It's a Crickhopper, Rebel Crickhopper. But what's cool about these is you can throw them, they float. So when you crank it down, it'll get that vibration, it'll go down under the water. And you can catch a lot of fish doing it that way, but one of the best techniques I've learned when the when the grasshoppers are jumping off the bank and they're all over the taller grass and everything, you throw one of these and let it sit on top and just give it little flutters, little like a grasshopper basically just kind of disturbing the surface. Those fish will come up and hit it just like a bass hitting the topwater, and it can be so much fun. But if you use these lures, these are some of the easy lures that I like to use when I'm going after panfish, because it really doesn't take a whole lot of effort. If you're a beginner and you're trying to learn how fish hit, how fish are positioned in the water, where they're gonna hit, what they're gonna hit, these lures pretty much get hit a high amount of the time. But anyways, guys, I hope that helps, and thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.